All right, welcome back to the Starfighter podcast with Dom and Jake, your two co-hosts. We're here tonight talking about Ahsoka episode 3. We're going to give our review. Before we get into that, if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button for us. It helps us out, helps the algorithm. Don't forget to leave a like, and above all else, join the conversation in the live chat, or if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment. We'll get back to you. We just really like to hear your guys' thoughts and your theories on these Star Wars episodes. All right,
Yep.
Jake,
Yeah.
how you
Hey.
doing tonight?
Hey. I was gonna say they should stab that like button like Sabine, but you know that's too soon. We won't say that. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Not. I'm almost at light speed. I'm almost at light speed.
All right, we're
I've
getting
had
there.
COVID going around the house the last
Mhm.
week and a half, so uh, everything's starting to settle down now. So,
Good to hear. Good to
how about
hear.
you, man? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, pretty good day, and I mean, I'm looking forward to talking Star Wars.
I know. I know. I mean, some could say that episode was so good that my mustache just jumped off my face. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. It was gone after the episode. I don't know what happened.
Um, is that like a reference to something? If it is, it went over my head.
Dude, stop being Drax. Let's continue the show. All right. Come on, Drax.
All right, all right. Ahsoka episode 3. Let's get into it. Initial thoughts on the episode.
Eh. How about you?
I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's like my least favorite of the 3 so far. I'm not sure yet. Um, I thought it had some really cool callbacks to the prequels. I'm like surprised how much it like I feel like these tones of like episode 1 and episode 2 and 3 um here and there, but then also it had callbacks to the original series or original trilogy. It
Mm-hmm.
has like some nice callbacks to just like the samurai culture in the beginning with the training. Um, and yeah, of course, there's moments that feel like Clone Wars and Rebels, in a good way to me. I know not everyone cares for that, but um, yeah, I enjoyed it
Yeah,
for sure.
big Rise of Skywalker scene in there as well. So yeah.
I Yeah, I guess we'll get into that later. I don't exactly know what you mean, but
What? All
you
right,
can
we'll
talk
get
about it.
into it.
Okay.
It's so obvious. I'm confused how you. I was literally like, they're doing Rise of Skywalker now, really? But yeah, we'll get into it.
All right. So Hu Yang helping Sabine out in the beginning, um, see her training. I thought this was pretty cool. It also kind of reminded me of the Force Unleashed game a little bit because that like his name is Proxy, but the droid in that who helps Starkiller out. I believe he has the ability to like change into different people actually, and he can like fight as the people. Hu Yang doesn't do that, but he was helping her fight and her different combat, and it's just interesting too, like a little bit of background on Sabine, which I do want to do a video about that more later. But she obviously has some fighting background from being a Mandalorian, but also from being trained by Kanan in Rebels with the dark saber. So I really enjoyed these scenes. I like how you get to see that also with her being trained with Ahsoka. I kind of mentioned it last week, but I think it's nice that we're actually seeing some time invested into an apprentice being trained, um, instead of just like not seeing much training. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I enjoy. But your thoughts on the intro?
Yeah, it was cool. Very samurai-y kind of training that they're doing. I agree with you. It's nice to see them. We know.
Oh, you're cutting out for a minute.
You good?
Yeah, start over if you don't mind.
Nothing. I was agreeing with you and saying like it's cool to see her train, but it's cool, and it's funny that you didn't make a Sabine episode, like explaining her, because the show's called Ahsoka. Everybody, it's not called Sabine. But guess what? That's the main character, so we're just gonna roll with it, folks. But regardless, it's cool to see. I might be able to buy it more because I guarantee you that she's gonna be like pretty decent at using a lightsaber by the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling that the series is going to take place over like 4 days. So is that really enough time to train someone to be that good? But we'll see. I might be able to buy it just because she's had prior training um, in Rebels. But
yeah,
she looks so slow. It still looks like really, we'll see. We'll see. And maybe that's just how they're going to do lightsaber fights in this series and stuff. But
yeah, and so I'll be honest, I got some things. I watched Star Wars Theory's review on this episode. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed his review, but there's some really great things that he mentioned in there, because I wanted to go a little bit further on the training and touch on the Force aspect, because that's a big part of this episode, like kind of a theme that's running through it. Sabine being a Force user potentially, but he mentioned, and he even showed a clip of George on his review talking about this, and Dave Filoni is kind of explaining it to us a little bit more. But basically, the Force resides in everyone. Everyone has the potential to be a Force user, and I think after this episode, for me, it drove the point home that, again, everyone has that potential, but some people, like a lot of the Jedi that we know, have more of a natural calling to the Force early on from like an infant age. That's why most of them are taken, very young, because they just have like this natural calling to the Force.
And one could say they just have like a higher midichlorian count,
Yeah,
there's like a cutoff point. It's like, well, you're not quite there. Like, we can't take you.
Right. And so I think it's safe to say Sabine has a very low midichlorian count. So in her situation, and for people like her, she's gonna have to work way harder to reach like her potential with the Force, and to become like efficient in using the Force. But what do you think about some of that stuff?
About Sabine being a Force wielder?
Yeah, just things that they touched on.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, it just kind of like opens up. Like, this is just, once they do this, it's a can of worms that they're opening up, and I honestly don't appreciate it. If you want to know my honest opinion,
Okay.
like, oh, like everyone can use the Force. Let's train you for 3 days, and then by the end of the series, like, you're going to be really great at using the Force. Or maybe she still struggles with it, but regardless, the fact that she's this old and now trying to use the Force to train, like, it's just a can of worms. And at this point, we're gonna be like, well, why can't they just go training for like 2 weeks and like with some Jedi and like be really good at using the Force? Like, it ticks me off, quite frankly, but it seems like you really enjoy it. But I'm gonna be like, what the heck are they doing?
If you think about it, Luke had a very similar.
Yeah, but Luke's the son. Like, Luke is the chosen one. Like, he is the son of the dude, there's a complete difference between Sabine and Luke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's
True.
like had to suppress his Force powers almost, and it's almost like he just had to be kind of shown the way. Be like, dude, like, you have the Force. Like, your family has the Force.
I take it back. That wasn't a very good example. He still also sucked at the beginning.
He got his butt kicked by Darth Vader. He's like, I'm gonna go save my friends. Good luck, dude. Like, get your hand cut off.
Yeah, and they were like, dude, you only had like a couple days of training. He's like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, so unless they cut off Sabine's arm in this series, like, I'm gonna be like, this is ridiculous.
Maybe they'll stab her on the left side of her ribs this time.
Dude, I mean, I would love to see it. And on that point, my honest thoughts on this, like with the Force being like anyone's game if they just train a little bit for it, and then on the she got stabbed in the beginning, there's no tension. Like I'm not ever thinking, oh, they're really in trouble this time. Like, chick got stabbed first episode, totally fine. The next episode, so, but on that stuff, like,
that's just some good Bacta, bro.
Dude, she wasn't even. They didn't show her in a bath, dude. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I enjoy it, but it's to me, it's opening up a can of worms, and I need them to be very cautious about if they're even going to give her it, because I feel like they shouldn't give her any. And just be like, dude, you were a great warrior. Like, you used the Darksaber like before and trained with it. Like, you could just be like a really skilled like person with a lightsaber.
Well, I think that she'll end up using the Force later on. I don't think she's going to be a good Force user, though. But even I was talking about this a little bit with my brother the other day, because she does have a green lightsaber. And so I do kind of have a theory that if she continues, like, I don't know, it could be different because it's not like traditional Jedi training, because Ahsoka's not a traditional Jedi, but generally, based on like Jedi's lightsaber colors, generally green lightsabers are for Jedi who are more prominent Force users, and the blue lightsabers were for the Guardians who were more prominent in fighting with their lightsaber. They didn't rely on their Force powers as much. So I feel like there's a chance that maybe she'll make a new lightsaber later on and it'll be blue, and she won't be using the Force as much.
Yeah.
So that's just a little theory that I have.
Yeah. I like green though. Green's always better.
Oh, I mean, it's my favorite color. Yeah.
Green lightsabers like trump everything. Well, purple might be up there.
So I guess we can talk next about this meeting that Hera has with the politicians. I thought it was pretty interesting. It got a little bit heated too. It was cool to see Mon Mothma again, and like see her progression from like going from Andor and now to this, and like she's really kind of like starting to run the show. And she also doesn't really get in the way of, you know, Hera and that one dude kind of going back and forth. But basically they don't believe her. It seems like they don't really believe her. They just think that when it comes to finding Thrawn, they just think that this is just like another endeavor, like to find her friend Ezra. They're not like fully understanding that Thrawn and Ezra were both like sent to the same place. You know what I mean? But yeah, what do you think of this scene?
I actually thought that Mary Elizabeth, whatever her name was,
Winstead, yeah,
it kind of acted like the most like Hera in this scene. Like this scene and then the scene after that we're gonna get to is like the most kind of like acting I've seen her do. It was like a little. It was all bland in like the first two episodes, and this is very much like a Hera, like I want to do this, like, and showing some emotion, just like during this whole back and forth, and her calling out the guy for literally sitting and doing nothing, and then assuming this power and being judgmental towards her, even though he didn't have to go through anything that she had to go through. But yeah, I thought it was like one of her better acting scenes for sure. And Mon Mothra, right? Is her name right?
Mon Mothma.
Mothra. Yeah, like the Godzilla character.
Not the Godzilla character, no.
So Mothra is up in here flapping her wings, dude, causing a heap of trouble for everybody. But it was good to see her back. It's little weird. I was going to ask you how far after Andor this takes place. This takes place like a while after Andor, doesn't it? Because that was pre-episode 5?
4.
4?
Mhm.
Okay. So it's been what? A few years, isn't it? Like quite a few years, or am I crazy?
Yeah, and
She looks the same as she did like 30 years ago.
well, they don't.
That.
I don't think that they have that original actress anymore.
Yeah.
I'd be interested. I don't even know. Like, I've never seen them really talk about the original actress. I wonder if she's still alive.
I don't know. But I enjoyed the sequence. I did. The scene was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
And not to get too off topic, but real quick, I saw just like talking about timelines. I saw this TikTok where someone broke it down pretty well because I was kind of curious about the ages of everybody from Rebels till now. And it's looking like it's about 20 years from Rebels to this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why Ahsoka being like 40 makes sense. Like she's 45 in real life of Rosario Dawson. I think that's pretty much like her age, like in this series, right? That sounds about right. Almost like 40.
Yeah, but then Sabine is like 32.
I know, but she still acts like a 12-year-old child. Like, what are we doing? That's what I'm saying. Like, just figure it out, Dave.
And Ezra was supposed to be.
He was like younger than Sabine, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was. She's 16, and he's 14 in Rebels. Ezra's supposed to be 30 in this series, roughly.
Keep going. My thing's glitching out. I'm gonna do this.
Oh, no worries.
But keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. So it was just kind of interesting, getting a little bit more of like what the timeline is here. But yeah, we can move forward. Talk about the scene that comes right after this with the politicians. She goes outside the room, and we get to see Jason Syndulla, which we were wondering if we would see him. And for those of you who don't know who that is,
we were very much like, where the heck is the child? Like, why doesn't she care?
Yeah, so Jason Syndulla is Kanan and Hera's child, their son. So what do you think of Jason?
I think Jason should join the fight. He's probably better at being a Jedi than Sabine right now. Is my takeaway. So get in there, little guy.
I thought the little kid did pretty good at his scene. I'm glad they didn't overdo it either.
I mean, I know his hair is green at the end of the series, but that hair is green, my guy. You know what I mean?
I thought it was cool that he has these dreams of becoming a Jedi. I thought it was really cool.
And that's what I was saying. This like acting scene with whatever her name is, Hera. I can't forget the actress's name. She like, you could see it in her face when he's like, "I want to be a Jedi." She's like, "Oh, F and A caught," and like that's not a good thing right now. Like she's so worried about that, but she also, the look in her eyes, like, I'm not going to be able to stop this.
Yeah,
you know, is like
his destiny.
Yeah, like your dad was a sick Jedi. Like you definitely, like, I can't waste you. It's almost like that moral dilemma of like, if you see someone like in danger, like stuck on a train, like, and you don't do anything, like, do you kill them? Like she's like, well, if I don't help my child like to be the best he could be, think about like how many people are going to die because he's not around to help them. My assumption is she doesn't do anything because we never see him, unless they want to just completely like retcon a character and like, oh no, he was out there, like another character, you know. Let's keep doing that. But or maybe he dies at Luke's temple, you know. Maybe Kylo just kills him.
A little Easter egg here for like people that know like the or who don't know the legends, but so Jason, originally that name was for Han and Leia's son in the Legends. There was a Jason Solo that Luke trained, and I believe they kept the same spelling. I'm pretty sure it's like JAC
En.
Ian, yeah. So just a kind of a cool little callback. So that's part of that is why I feel like there is a good chance that maybe they will say eventually that he does get trained by Luke. But now kind of where this is kind of heading.
Whoa, hold on, wait, back it up a second here. Confusion. Talking about ages. How old is this kid? Is he like 30 years old?
No, so here's why I can't explain this. So everyone sees this picture behind us. Our background is the mural, right? And I thought about this the first time I saw episode 1 briefly, but then I kind of just like disregarded it. But I'm pretty sure it's confirmed now that when we see the ending of episode 1 of Ahsoka, that is also supposed to be the ending scene in Rebels. There's so many similarities of
the ending of
the very ending scene, the finale of Rebels. Spoiler here, guys. You should have watched it.
It's a time jump that it was explained to me.
Yeah, which they time jumped at the end of Rebels, and at the end of Rebels, you see, like before this scene, before the similar scene in Ahsoka, you see Sabine walk up to the mural and touch the mural, and then turn around, and Ahsoka, she comes to pick her up, and then they're ready to go and find Ezra.
So your assumption is that scene is the same scene from live action.
Yeah.
So the whole thing
it is
where everyone was saying like, oh, they already had their time to go check out, like she was training Sabine at that point afterwards. You know what I mean? Because everyone's like, after that they went and looked for
Rebels though. There's a time jump in Rebels though that we don't see. So basically, we'll say it's like the finale, like of Rebels, like 75% through the ending of Rebels, the finale. They're in the timeline that they've always been in the whole show, basically. And then there's this time jump that goes years, and we don't see what happens there, but we can come to the conclusion that Sabine gets training from Ahsoka, and then you cut to that part, the ending of Rebels and the ending of Ahsoka episode 1. You follow me?
Yeah.
Hopefully that made sense, everyone. I did my very best. I know it gets a little confusing.
Dude, if this kind of stuff though was happening like in any other universe of like in any cinematic universe, people would be like stupid confused and hate it. Like the fact that make you work this hard to think about what's going on right now, almost, it's like so detrimental to the Star Wars brand, because I've heard this, everyone's like, I don't understand, like when does this take place, like how does this make sense that these people are this, like how old are they, like what's going on? You know what I mean? It's just not fluid.
I know it's a little frustrating, it's a little
complicated. So clunky, dude.
I don't think it's like terrible. I think it sounds a little more complicated than what it actually is.
But and then like Star Wars has also gone down the path the MCU has gone down and been like, if you haven't seen this show, like you're not gonna understand like anything that's going on, almost. Like, and I just want Star Wars to take a step back and like reevaluate things to like make this as like accessible as it can be to all audiences, because I feel like the show is very confusing for a lot of people. But I could just be super wrong about that, and I think it's just like gonna go against them. I don't think it's gonna help them. I don't guess.
Yeah.
The whole ending, but like making people think that, like going through that process of being like, oh, like that's the same scene, like time jumps so far that like this is really like how much you know, like it just seems like too much homework for the average viewer. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So like, I'll say this last thing, and then we can get back to the review. But um, Mandalorian did it like season one did this quite a bit better, but I think making it more accessible to the average viewer and audience. But I think a big part of that was because Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, and Grogu were both brand new characters. So there was a lot of things that were sprinkled and still are throughout Mandalorian where like you're gonna really get more out and find more enjoyment if you've seen Clone Wars and Rebels, because there's all these little like nods to both of those shows. But for everyone, these are brand new characters. The two main characters are brand new, so like we can all start on the journey together, at a certain point, and then other people are just gonna have like all this backstory already if they have seen the other shows, you know what I mean? But with Ahsoka, it's not a new character, and the average audience doesn't realize that it's not a new character, right? So then there's a lot of things that's why some of the episodes we might find that's taking a little bit too long, because they're trying to explain more for the average audience, which you and I already know the backstory, but they don't. So yeah, I think that's kind of where some of the confusion comes from.
And then it messes with the pacing of the show almost. You know, it's like, yeah, I get exactly 100% what you just said. Like, two new characters, these characters and this show itself is literally based upon everything that happened before. You know what I mean? It's not like sprinkled in there, like, oh, like this is their past. It's like, no, like that's what happened and this is what they're doing now because of that. And it's
No, I
like,
mean, it is Rebels season 5, like it
you know,
is.
yeah, you know, so it's like, I just feel bad for some people that were expecting like a Star Wars show they could just get into, and now they're like, I have to do a bunch of things to like figure out what the heck's going on. Um, you know, I don't know. It kind of irks me that they did that. You know, like I get why they did it, and it's a character everyone loves and all that stuff, but like just give us a sequence for 10 minutes at the first episode, kind of explaining everything, like, and make that first episode an hour long. Like, not that difficult. I don't know what to say. And then everyone
Yeah.
would be like, oh, that's why this is happening. Like, give us a longer title thing, like a little bit more explanation, which would suck because then you have to read a lot. Like, I get it, but like
What did
something.
they do that for? They did that for one of the shows. Did they do that for Boba Fett at the very beginning? They gave like a summary of someone's character or of some kind of
It
story.
was it was very much, but yes, what you said, yeah, I'm pretty sure at the beginning of Boba Fett, and then it like describes like what happened in Mando and like where like he's been. It shows like him getting taken by the Rancor, right? Doesn't it?
Or like kicked into the pit.
Yeah, and then him crawling out.
Yeah.
So like it starts like right there, and then it's like, oh well, this is like what's happened. I don't know if it really gave like too much, but Boba
No,
Fett, you don't need
I can't
like.
remember what I'm thinking about exactly. I thought that they did like a pretty good summary for one of the shows at the beginning. It might have just been for the beginning of Mandalorian season 3 actually. They do a little summary before you get into it.
Yeah, and they show
I
like
think that's what it was, because I think they show some of what happens in Book of Boba Fett.
that's what they do. Yeah, so that you're
Yeah.
not completely lost. You're like, oh, okay, like this is where we
It
are.
would have been nice if there was like uh, a summary and they take some things from Clone Wars at the beginning of Ahsoka episode 1. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, it's like something.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Yeah, like even if they would have just done like the live action like last 5 minutes of like the last finale, and so you're not lost on who the heck
Yeah.
Ezra is, you know, and all that stuff. Like that would have been cool to see. But then maybe they were like, oh, we're gonna ruin the space whales. Let me tell you, Filoni, no one cares about the space whales. Okay.
Dude, people like them.
Yeah, dude, type.
People, so it's funny because people didn't really like them in Rebels, But now
Dude, I've heard some things about the space whales. God.
people have
Oh, my
come
thing's
around
freezing.
on them. People have come around on them. Also, I thought that you liked them when we saw them in Mandalorian the first time. I'll pull it up, bro. I'll go back to the VOD.
I think I talked about how ridiculous it was that there's space whales that travel that fast. I think I got excited because I was like, oh, like Ezra might show up, like there's gonna be a Thrawn connection. And then there like really wasn't. Like I was like, is this like Grogu sensing like Ezra right now? Like is he like able to
Well, there was a
communicate?
connection, but it was just extremely subtle.
Yeah. A bunch of hoopla. Regardless, that season 3 episode, let me just explain to everybody, is
Hoopla
taking place.
or Orca?
What?
Is it Hoopla or is it Orca?
It's hoopla, dude. It's humpback, all right? Regardless, all that scene that we saw in that Mandalorian scene takes place like way after anything that's happening in this series right now, everybody. Just forewarning, just let everybody know, like, there's been time that's passed. This almost takes place like during like Boba Fett, doesn't it?
What are you talking about? This is
that happened in Ahsoka and everything happened in season 2 of Mandalorian, which is like this show takes place directly after that episode. That takes place in season 3. And season 2 ends, and then there's like a 2-year time jump, supposedly, Filoni says, or Favreau, between season 2 and 3. So just letting everyone know, like that space whale thing that we saw, like took place after this season, like way after the season is gonna end.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's the homework you need to do, where you're just like, oh, that happened. Like this is where this is. You know what I'm saying? So like, was it a connection to Ezra? Like, what does that mean then? Like, what happens to Ezra then in the series that makes it like, oh, there's space whales, like heads up, you know? Or was it just like a little like, oh, guess what? We're coming out with Ahsoka soon. Here's a space whale for you. You know? I don't know.
I thought they were cool. But let's bring it back. Let's bring it back just a little bit. I want to talk
about your favorite scene.
A little bit more of this kind of similar conversation towards the beginning, but Hu Yang is talking to Ahsoka in the ship about Sabine and how she would never have been accepted as a Jedi in the Order. And then Ahsoka says that she doesn't need her to be a Jedi. She just needs her to be herself, which to me, again, kind of felt like Ahsoka just wants her to like reach her full potential, you know, as a warrior, which I thought was very like Ahsoka like very true to her character, because like you had mentioned before, you can still tell like there's definitely like that resentment towards the Jedi Order and towards the traditional way of doing things. But she's proven that she's kind of like risen above all that in a way, because she reached her full potential and like became such a powerful warrior without like that traditional code, that traditional way of being a Jedi. You know what I mean? Yeah, and so that's kind of like what she wants for Sabine too, which I thought was cool. Because I think it just makes things a little interesting, because it's like, you know, Sabine and Ahsoka, they're not like your traditional Jedi, and then Baylan and Shin are also not your traditional Jedi. They're also not Sith, quite, you know, they're not exactly Sith either. So I think all of that is just kind of making things interesting for me. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we just have a bunch of people running around using the Force that aren't Jedis or Siths, and so like that's just what the show is, and we're gonna just roll with it.
You know what I think? I think you're afraid to. I think you're afraid to admit that there's some cool stuff going on.
I can see like where there could be reality where the show is really good. Yes, yeah, 100%.
Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it, guys.
I could see them using a lot of this different stuff to their advantage, but I just don't know if they're going to. and it's only 8 episodes. And for the love of all things above, this was like a 30-minute episode, and they're doing it again. And if they keep up this pace of having another 30-minute episode, I'm going to be like, the show lost me. Because they should have even, like, at the end of this episode, added another 30 minutes, make it an hour long. I want to see that fight scene. Like, you built it up, like, and then kind of kill it. It's not really a cliffhanger. We know it's going to happen. Just, like,
I know, like,
do
you're
it.
so ready for them to get on the ground and fight.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
like,
is that what you mean? Because that's what I was waiting for.
it was very, like, this episode, at the end of it, I was like, okay, so basically nothing happened. I was like, we didn't learn anything new. Like, there was a cool, like, sequence that was like a throwback to, you know, A New Hope, and like, that's what we got. Cool. Like, it was literally like a scene out of A New Hope, and then, like, that was the episode. We're like, all right, listen, talking. You know, I don't know. You know, I don't know.
I liked it, guys. I liked it.
It was like, finish the episode. Like, don't leave me here in the middle of an episode. Like, just come on. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
So speaking of that, let's talk about the space battle.
It's your favorite scene. You love it. I can't wait for you to talk about it.
I do. I really liked it. Interesting little throwback here that got to talk about our girl Shin, everybody's favorite dark Jedi.
I gotta say, Shin looks pretty good in this episode.
The headset.
Something about the headset, man. Something about the headset.
It's like Obi-Wan's headset in Attack of the Clones.
Or like Anakin's, yeah.
Yeah, or like Anakin's.
Well, because I don't know if did Obi-Wan have a silver one? I know Anakin had the gold one for sure.
Yeah, Anakin has a similar one in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I loved it. I love these like little cockpit scenes because it must be so ridiculous for the actors in the scene to like the acting. I always think about that. They're like sitting there just like it just
I've come to appreciate space battles more, like as a kid, and like just growing up being a Star Wars fan, I didn't really invest much into like the space battles, but I've come to like them more. Especially the one in Andor. That one was really sick.
The one when they're going into the sky,
the Northern Lights, basically. The eye.
Yeah.
It's called the Eye of something. But...
yeah, whatever that was. No, that was a really cool scene compared to this one, for sure.
Dude, compared, yeah, and not to get too off topic, but that space scene in Andor is like, it's what the Kessel Run should have been in Solo.
Yeah, it was good.
It puts the Kessel Run to shame. Yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool to see. You know, they started having some like frustration, but they got past that, like Ahsoka and Sabine, and I thought it was cool for Ahsoka to be like, you know what, Sabine, you tell me what you need me to do, and we'll make it happen. And they started working together, and started knocking out the other starfighters, and then it came down to just Merrick or Marok. I thought it was going to be Merrick, but they've been calling him Marok or Marok, sorry, in the show. And then Shin. It came down to the two of them, and then we get to see the Purgles or the space whales. I thought they looked good, and I thought it was cool them kind of like weaving in and out like between the whales, and they're able to lose the two of them.
You're just gonna glance over that whole scene, huh?
Did I miss something important? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay.
You're gonna glance over the whole Rise of Skywalker scene, huh? That's what we're doing today?
It's not the same thing. I know what you're saying now. It's not the same thing.
It's the exact same thing. What is different about it? It was ridiculous. That whole scene was ridiculous.
In Rise of Skywalker,
we're just gonna get this out of the way.
Leia uses the Force to like pull herself or something like that, or use the Force to fly. That's
The Last Jedi.
That's Last Jedi. Wait, what
I'm
are
talking
you
about Rise of
talking about?
Skywalker. I'm talking about Rey doing a flip and cutting off the wing of Kylo Ren's ship when he's like shooting them in the desert.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That was cool.
Very,
Um,
very Rise of Skywalker scene. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even see that callback until now that you mention it.
What?
Good catch. Good catch there.
It
But
was so Rise,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, we missed the part about, the ship gets hit pretty bad. Oh, real quick, I thought the lasers sounded awesome coming from the starfighters that Shin and Marak were in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
They shot the Ahsoka ship way too much for me to even care, though. Like, I'm telling you, like what they did in the first episode by
those are some
stabbing.
good shields. Those are some good
Yeah,
shields, man.
some real good shields, guy. I'll tell you what. So like that's what I'm
Dude,
talking about. Like the first episode ruined any sort of like intense moment for me. Like I was just very like, oh okay, like something's gonna happen. They're gonna be fine. Like I didn't like care. I was like, they're not gonna get captured. Like even if they do, like they're gonna be fine.
okay, this is why I really enjoyed this scene. Ahsoka comes out in her spacesuit. Yes, she has her lightsabers and fighting. This is a
A
callback to
ridiculous
many
spacesuit.
many parts in. She looked great. She looked great, Jake. Um,
It's so ridiculous.
it's one of the first arcs in Clone Wars. It's called, what is it called? I think I wrote it down. Um, yeah, it's called Rising Malevolence. I think we lost. I think we lost Jake, guys. We lost him.
No, I'm just laughing too much. I had to cut myself off there. You know.
Rising Malevolence was a cool story arc with Ahsoka and Plo Koon, which I do want to talk about Plo Koon
No,
before the
yeah.
end of the night. Um,
I know you
but
do.
like
There's a great.
there's
I love that connection. I love that
there's like
connection.
3 or 4 times, clone and including Clone Wars and Rebels, but we get to see, um, Ahsoka or like some other Jedi go out into space for a minute and have like an action scene. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I thought it looked cool. I thought it
It
looked
was
cool.
ridiculous. There's these 3 ships firing at Ahsoka on this ship that she somehow is attached to, running all up and down it, which I know, I heard. Don't worry about it. Don't care. Still doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden, she's floating around, and guess what? She can't use the Force now to float back to the ship, and it's almost like, well, they've already like established that's a complete like normal thing. Like, just freaking like do
Because
it.
did you see the ship activated her, like something? There's some technology between, like some communication between her boots and the ship, that like something got triggered to where then she was able to run on the ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. It's just like the arc that she has when she jumps and flips, but she doesn't like jump out. She like jumps like a normal jump, but it's just
And
elongated.
floats and floats. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say floats because it seems like there's gravity on that ship, so that she controls, I guess. But regardless,
I'm down, bro.
I am not, dude. When 3 ships are flying through space, being like like massive shots, and like first of all, the ship's not getting damaged. It's not. It doesn't even have shields on anymore. Like, what are we doing here? I don't know.
She
It
was
was,
reflecting them, bro.
and not every single one of them. I'll tell you what. Okay,
True.
but it was just like,
I really liked it, but yeah, I mean, I see your point.
it just kind of took me out of it a little bit. It just kind of took me out of it a little bit. I get it.
Gotcha.
The spacesuit was kind of ridiculous. How it had like special little things for her, like hair. It was almost like this is like I don't know what's happening here. You know, I enjoyed
Well,
it though.
it's not her first rodeo. I think that was the point, right? Like, she fights
Yeah,
out. She's fought out in space before, you know.
yeah, yeah. We don't need to go down this road. All I'm saying is just kind of. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Just kind of took me out,
She
but it
put
was
it
good.
on. She's like, "Yep, fits like a glove, like it always has," and went out there and took on the starfighters.
I mean, it was just, I just, I don't know. How many times is this ship gonna get shot before it just blows up?
Yep.
But besides that,
They were
yeah.
the shields that never stop.
Dude,
Jake,
even when there's no power, dude, the
yeah,
shields don't quit,
there's no
dog.
power, but yeah, the gift that keeps on giving. Those
Okay.
shields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the plot armor shields. They work really
Yeah.
well. Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed
No, you didn't.
I really enjoyed the goofiness of it. It's just like took me out of it real nice, you know. I was like, oh, is this a Star? Oh, it's not a Star Wars. I don't know what's happening. It's good. It's good.
So before we get into our theories, the episode ends with them hiding in the forest, and then Merrick is gonna, or I'm sorry, Balin is gonna send out some people to go handle them, right? Some soldiers or whatever. And that's how our episode ends. But definitely some room for theories.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting
sure-
how Sabine flew right next to the eye of one of the Purgles. I don't know if they did that on purpose to be like, oh, like these Purgles like recognize the ship or these people or something, because then right after that scene, it's like almost like the Purgles help them a little bit by kind of like closing off different alleyways for Shin and Marok or Maraka, whatever his name is. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. So
Barack Obama.
You're such a doofus. All right.
Maybe that's who's under the mask.
Dude, imagine if he took it off and it was just like I would die, dude. I would die. Honestly, my theories about Marok is that he's a Ralph Boner, everybody. He's a Ralph Boner. Seriously.
For people who don't know who that is, it's someone.
Oh, wait, don't say anything. Yeah, well, hold on. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Someone's watching the show that I'm
spoiler?
watching WandaVision with right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I shouldn't even say anything.
Well,
but regardless, I guess I'm watching that show and it's like, I feel like this guy's a Ralph Boner. Like he's just not gonna be who everyone thinks he is.
Not who you think it is. Yeah.
He's gonna be a nobody. Everyone's like, oh, it's a new character. Like I don't know who the heck this guy is. You know what I mean? So, like that's just what I got from all this.
Stupid name. Such a stupid name. Why would Disney? Why would they make that name? Oh my goodness,
dude! Why would they make him Ralph Boner? You know, that's a stupid name.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Marok, and I was like, I don't know, dude. No. That's a dumb name too. I don't know. Yeah, I know it is. That's like I don't even know why they would do that, dude.
No, well, here's the thing. Okay, so getting into some theories here, which I didn't realize this until the other day. In which I know you don't know too much about it, I don't think, but the Force Unleashed game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starkiller, voiced and motion capped by Sam Witwer, who also voices Darth Maul and Sidious in Clone Wars and in Rebels. Amazing guy, Sam Witwer. He's credited. I don't know if you've seen this. He's credited in this show, his voice. But here's the interesting part, Jake. And this is where we're gonna really drop some knowledge on people. In the Force Unleashed game, right? Starkiller is his code name, but his actual birth name is Galen Merrick. His last name is Merrick, and that's how they pronounce it in the Force Unleashed. They've been saying Marok in this, but yeah, so there's this theory that it's actually Starkiller or Sam Witwer behind the mask. Maybe they just make him a different character, and maybe that's just like a little fun callback to his game. But I think that's really interesting, and he's in the show. Like Sam, I think you're on mute, but Sam Witwer is in the show one way or another, and maybe it's not exactly his Starkiller character. But I just think that's super cool. or interesting at least. We'll
I
see
don't
if
think
it
we're gonna
ends
get
up.
Starkiller though.
Yeah, probably not. We'll see if it ends up being cool, but it is interesting.
I think it's gonna be like one of those things that you said. It's gonna be like a little Easter egg. I don't think that they're gonna bring Starkiller in. I would love it, but even if they did, like
I'm starting to really feel like it's Sam though behind the mask.
if it is, it's a completely different
character. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this guy isn't trained by Darth Vader.
Well, actually, that's not totally true. He's not like the apprentice that he was, but if he's like kind of an inquisitor, or if he was sort of an inquisitor before, then at one point he did have some training with Vader. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not the same character.
Yeah.
It's not this guy that's gonna rip down ships. He's not gonna be powerful. I think it's gonna be like just a little Easter egg. I think for people that played the video games to be like, oh, like they're kind of trying to include something in like from the video games. But character wise, I don't know how else to explain it. It might be the same name, but it's not the same person. Like he didn't go through what you think he went through. Like in this show, like there's no chance, or else he would literally just force crush that ship that they were in, and like that would have been it. And see you later, Ahsoka and Sabine, which would have been nice.
Because basically, if he was Starkiller, then there's like no point of having Baylan and Shin in the show, because
there's no reason why he would be listening to them. Yeah,
both of them would like really be downplaying that they like, have this wild card up their sleeve like this entire time. You know what I mean?
It would be really interesting to see if they did make him Starkiller, the fact that he's still like loyal to the Empire and not to any of these people, and he's kind of just like there in the background, and he's gonna slaughter like everybody like once they find out like this new galaxy and stuff. That's the only way it would really work for me if like he was Starkiller, if he was like a plant and like totally like just doing it for his own like power gain and just acted like a nobody and then got in there and is going to just slaughter everybody like once he finds it. Which
I love those two games, by the way, and I have the comic, the graphic novel of the first one. Good story, really cool Legends material.
Who wins, Cal Kestis or Starkiller?
Starkiller by a long shot. This guy brings down Star Destroyers, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He's like Thanos. He can just like throw a moon at people if he wants to.
Yeah.
You know? You're done for.
Yeah, in Legends, they say that he's more powerful than Vader and Sidious.
So here's my other question: do you think we see those other gods in this other galaxy, the brother, the sister, and the father, or what happened to them? Because from what I remember, the sister died. Did the father die as well?
So for people that don't know, we're referring to a really
I forget their names
episode in Clone Wars.
It's like a super telling episode though as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very cool scenes in that episode. Go check it out. Anakin, everything gets told, and it's insane.
Yeah, essentially these super powerful beings that basically like help control the Force, essentially. Yeah, and I haven't seen that story arc in a long time, so I can't say too much on it if I want to be like accurate. So I don't really think that we're gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna go there with it.
Do you think this whole like next place we go to, instead of humans, it's just gonna be like a bunch of like wolf people, like werewolves? Because Dave Filoni loves wolves. It's just gonna be like a bunch of werewolves running around with lightsabers and stuff, dude.
No,
it's possible. It's possible.
There's I can't remember what the name is. Oh, they're called like the Uzon Vaughn.
No, isn't it the other guys that start with a P? The guys that made the Stargate like spaceport thing on Cetos? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know, but I'm talking about these this alien species.
Yeah.
That play like a part in the Legends arc with Luke and Thrawn
Oh,
Um,
I don't know then. No.
yeah, so people have been speculating that we're gonna get like that. Dave's gonna like cherry pick some stuff from the old Legends book and the old stories that involved Thrawn and Luke, and so like those aliens were uh a big part of that story, and I guess that they were like the Force didn't really have an effect on them, so it made them like a bigger threat. So that'd be interesting.
I know what you're talking about, but they're like lizards. Like they're not. I thought they were just like creatures. I didn't know they were like an actual like species of people. I thought it was just like a.
Yeah, I don't even remember what they look like, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure they're just like animals, pretty much. Like they're not like. It's hard to say people, but like or humans, but they're not like. They're basically like space whales. They're just like animals in the universe that like can't get affected by the Force. I forget what it is, but no. I was thinking that you were going to talk about what Star Wars theory was talking about, I think, last week with the gate and like the like ancient species that were like Jedis before that like fell, that were like super BA, that like just slaughtered people.
No, and
like I want to see those guys, bro.
That'd be interesting, yeah. And I don't even know too much about that, but it sounds cool.
I have no idea, but like Dave, if you want to explain something cool, like have there be like a race of aliens just know how to use the Force and want to slaughter everybody. That would be super cool. Bring them back into the galaxy. Now we have this. You can't even do it because they already screwed everything up with the sequels, dude. You can't do anything. So it's like, what are you gonna do, Dave? What are you gonna do? There's nothing to do, Dave.
He's gonna try to get rid of the bad taste that the sequels left. I think that's what he's gonna try to do.
Do you think that he stays in this other galaxy and just creates like a new Star Wars and like a new galaxy, or do you think that like we're gonna come back to this galaxy and then everybody in the show is going to die? Which hopefully that happens. I would love it, but.
No and no, but that is pretty interesting. That's actually, I do want to talk about Plo Koon here soon.
Yes. Yeah.
But what I was gonna say earlier is another possibility for Jason Syndulla is that he ends up going and staying in this other galaxy, and maybe being a Jedi in this other galaxy. I think that
the dark Jedi that he was always meant to be, dude. The Sith.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting. Couldn't that be kind of cool?
I think there's no way that he comes back into this other galaxy of Star Wars, because I was thinking about it. And
what if he doesn't die? He gets trained by Luke, and then Luke sends him to another galaxy, something like that.
He needs to create his own galaxy, okay? It's the Filoni galaxy, not the George Axie. All right, so keep George Axie separate. Get the Flaxie going, and like create something new. Because I don't know like how he's gonna make all these movies and stuff. Like I don't understand how he's gonna do that. And maybe they're just trying to confuse us so hard with the timeline all the time that we just won't even think about it. Maybe that's their goal, is just be like, master of illusion and just be like,
maybe you can hit us over the head with space whales enough that we forget about it.
Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Too many orcas to the back of the skull.
Dude, way too many orcas, man.
Forgot all about the sequels.
Dude, I wish there was space orcas that would just eat these other like whales. That's what orcas do, man. They're vicious. They're killers.
There's always a bigger Purgle.
Dude, always a big old space orca just like floating out there. Like in what was that? Those things in the first Avengers movie. Yeah, I'd love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the OG Purgles.
Dude, what if Thanos comes into this like universe? Do you think that's possible?
You know what? Anything's possible now with Disney.
Dude, I would love if the season ended with half the people getting dusted in Star Wars. And they're just like, oh, shoot. It's all connected, dude. Doctor Strange comes out of nowhere, bro, with that chick that he left in with his last movie. We can't get into it. But
So so Plo Koon. Well, first we gotta mention Balin, right?
yes,
So basically, this theory comes from Star Wars theory, and he's talking about Balin and how he's kind of he might be a little bit reluctant towards taking down Ahsoka because his theory is that Plo Koon was Balin's master, and some of you may know, some of you may not know. Plo Koon, the Jedi Master, was not Ahsoka's master, but he was the master, and he was the Jedi that found Ahsoka and brought her into the Order. And then, originally, I believe Obi-Wan was supposed to be her master, but then Anakin ends up being her master. So, and also Plo Koon is Dave Filoni's favorite character. He's mentioned this before in interviews. I think Plo Koon is a super cool character, very underrated. We don't have enough from him. Surprisingly, I don't think we had enough from him in Clone Wars. I wish we had more episodes from him in Clone Wars. But I honestly think that this is a possibility, and I think that it's just a matter of time that we do get to see Plo Koon in live action because of Dave Filoni, or have like more content with him. But yeah, I think it's a really cool theory and a definite possibility, because obviously Balin was in the Jedi Order for a while. Like he knew Anakin. He was brought up in the Jedi Order.
Balin, yeah, I mean, something. He has to have some sort of connection. I hope they explain it. I think it's gonna be one throwaway line in the next episode. Hopefully, because it would make a lot more sense, like why he's feeling the way he's feeling. I think he's gonna maybe have one throwaway line in the next episode where they fight, and he probably says like, "This is gonna be hard for me. My master found you," or something like that. And like that's probably all we're gonna get. Is my assumption. Like something that he like mentions to her, and they kind of both know about each other. Like she's gonna be like, "Oh, like I see, like oh, like you're the one helping her," and then like she's gonna recognize him, and then he's gonna be like, "Yes, like whatever, like my master found you, and now I have to kill you." Like something, you know, something like that.
I would love to see some kind of flashback. I don't think we're gonna see it. It's really unlikely, but it'd be really cool to see a Plo Koon flashback, especially something with like him and then a younger Balin and Ahsoka in it. The other thing that I wanted to mention is,
I want to mention it too. If you're gonna mention the same thing, okay.
Are there more Force ghosts out there, or is it just the ones that we know? You know what I mean? Who's to say that Plo Koon didn't become part of the Force?
Are you saying we're gonna see Plo Koon in this next episode or in this season?
As a Force ghost, I feel like maybe some people aren't gonna like that idea, but I think I would be down. I don't think that there's any reason why we can't see more of the Jedi Masters. Not like all of them, because it is supposed to be a very special thing, but
I will tell you right now that's gonna irk a lot of people if Plo Koon shows up as a Space Force ghost. And I'll give you the very simple reason.
Why do you say Space Force ghost?
I don't know, dude. Because who knows what they are? All right,
space whale ghost. That's kind of like
Space Whales, Space Force ghosts, dude. They're all crazy out there. But I'll tell you it's gonna really mess people up, and they're gonna be really upset if they end up going down this road, because we don't know that that's even a possibility until the end of episode 3. Plo Koon already died. He didn't do the training to be a Force ghost. So now you're telling me, hey, people don't have to train to use the Force really at all. They don't have the Force.
This is after episode 3.
Plo Koon dies before the end of Ep 3. Obi-Wan figures out that you can do it from Yoda at the end of episode 3. Qui-Gon knew about it because Qui-Gon's awesome. if Plo Koon, this
Plo
is what
Koon
I'm
was awesome
telling you,
too. Plo Koon
and
was awesome too.
this is what I'm telling you though. It's going to irk a lot of
Yeah.
people, and it's going to confuse everyone because no one knew about it until the end of episode 3, except for Qui-Gon. All right, and if like it just became like
Qui-Gon discovered it, but Qui-Gon discovered it after he died. It's not something he learned when he was alive. Yoda tells Obi-Wan that he discovered a path, like a pathway back.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I do agree. People, there'd be plenty of people that don't like it. Yeah.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Sure. So now everybody that dies can learn how to do this. Cool. Like, sounds cool. Is there like a thing on the other side of the Force at the end? Is Qui-Gon having a training seminar for all the dead Jedi to like, this is how we become Force Ghosts?
I just don't necessarily think that it's a time sensitive thing. I think that it's limited to people, but I don't necessarily think that it's dependent on when they died.
From what I know, there's only like 3 or 4 people that have ever really done this, and the fact that they're just gonna do it to other, like, it's just stop taking what's special about Star Wars and ruining it, Dave Filoni. Just stop right now.
Oh my
please.
God.
You already ruined the lightsaber thing. I'm freaking sick of it, dude. Like,
About
if you bring
what?
back
Oh,
Force,
the stabbing.
people getting stabbed. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. You just jumped on the bandwagon. If you want to cause another issue, like, go for it, Dave. But I'm just letting you know that's the dumbest thing you could do right now.
Okay,
so have a Force Ghost.
Jake doesn't want a Force Ghost. All right.
Dude, if there is a Force Ghost, I will stop watching the show and I will come on here just to hear you explain it, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. That's where I'm at with Star Wars. Okay. Regardless, I think it'd be ridiculous. I just think it would. I don't know. And here's the thing: is like, you're talking like, this is my issue with Star Wars that we had like the discussion with before, that like about this show is like, for the average viewer, if you just do that, like, people are gonna be like, what the heck? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then what? So now you have to go back and be like an expert in Star Wars to like understand anything in the show. So like, Dave Filoni's shooting himself in the foot again. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, just stop, dude. Like, just make this relatable to a lot of people. I know you're upset. You love the show. I know you love Plo Koon.
No, I'm not upset. I do love Plo Koon.
I like Plo Koon too.
I think if we do see a Force Ghost, it's actually going to be Anakin's Force Ghost.
We already got that, yeah. So
if we do see one, I think we could. If we do see one, I think it'll most likely be his Force Ghost over anybody else's. But yeah, we don't know if we're getting Anakin as a Force Ghost, or if it's just going to be a flashback, or if it's just going to be his voice. But I'm pretty sure we're actually gonna see Hayden again.
What if they have this whole like Force Ghost thing where he like comes back and it's like giving words of wisdom to Ahsoka, and then like Obi-Wan just comes out of nowhere, like, come back to the bar, Anakin, let's get some more drinks. Would you just lose it? Would you just lose it? Would you just? He's like, here's another death stick, Anakin. He walks up with a death stick in his mouth. It's like, would you like another death stick? I would die. I would. Listen, Filoni, okay, make it happen. All right. Do the death sticks? I would die, dude. Just out there.
Because you're referencing Hopkinson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have to check out that. I think his name is Charles Hopkinson, but he does these deep fake videos on YouTube where he has Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Anakin on the couch, and they're all like reacting to these Star Wars shows. So right now they're reacting to Ahsoka. But my favorite,
the new one's probably coming out tonight too. I'm really excited.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really like them. The funniest part for me in that last one, Jake, that he did is when Ahsoka and Sabine are sitting down at the table, and Ahsoka tells her, "You never make things easy," and then Sabine is like, "You never made things easy for me, Master," and then And then Anakin is like, "You never made things easy for me." And then Obi-Wan's like, "Well, why should I have? He never made things easy for me." And then Qui-Gon starts doing it too, and just like it just keeps going and going.
It's the best, dude. I love it. It's so funny.
Great. It was great. You guys got to check that out.
Yeah, seriously, he's probably one of the funnier. I don't even know what it was, like 40 minutes of that episode, because he had to go through 2 episodes, and I just watched all of it and just cracked up like the whole time.
Yeah.
Just cracking up. He's the best.
Well, any more theories before we head out?
Yeah. Shin, really cool. I like her for what she is.
She's amazing.
I get really irked when people will say like, "Oh, these are the best Star Wars villains we've ever seen before." It's like, no. First of all,
also do not turn her bad or good. She needs to stay bad. She needs to stay bad.
All right, so you think they're gonna stay bad?
If one of them turns good, it might be Balin, but hopefully both of them stay bad.
Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but
that's one of my problems with newer Star Wars. It's like, can characters just stick to their guns and stay on like one path, like one consistent path? Like,
but couldn't you argue
always
that
have
like
these like huge turns? You know what I mean?
Using your Star Wars logic, let me come at you here in this debate, Mister. Okay. It's happened in the past. That's literally what the OG series is about. So
I know, but it's like, it's good.
The only person that's ever bad is Palpatine. That's like the only evil person in the universe. And if you don't understand that, you know.
Oh, okay, Obi-Wan is a great example of someone who's very consistent. But like with Kylo, like he should have stayed bad. And when Rey stabbed him, he should have actually been dead.
No, dude, Star Wars, like lightsabers don't hurt people.
Yeah.
People hurt people with their feelings, but that's about it.
Force heal is better than Bacta, bro.
Dude, a brother's knife cuts the deepest. That's what they always say, dog. All right? It's all about emotions in Star Wars. That'll kill you, you know? No, but here's my theory. Shin is Balin's daughter. Do you agree with that? Or we didn't really talk about that last time either, but
yeah,
that's
we didn't.
Like I think serious theory floating around.
Yeah, very possible. Now, like, why does that matter so much, though? Like, like, what weight does that carry, though? Like, going forward, if that is true.
That's what I'm saying. What if, like, he turns semi-good, and yeah, if he turns like semi-good, and then the Night Sister Elsbeth is like, just freaking slaughter Marok, and then like Marok like kills him, and then she's like, I need to get revenge and like join these other strong female leads to take down this other strong female lead, you know, and the main antagonist that's thrown. So that's what I might see. Like maybe he gets killed by like turning, and she's like,
it's a family thing. Yeah, the bond between like the father and daughter. Yeah.
But that doesn't even necessarily mean that she's good, because she's going to be struggling with revenge and the dark side. So she might not be like 100% good, but like that might be like swayed her to like the good side, but she's like not really good side, because like she's using the dark side of the Force to just like take revenge and kill everybody.
Or maybe it'll push her over and she'll just go full dark side.
Huh? Yeah. She might go full like Star Killer. Yeah, and just kill everybody.
If anything, that's what I want, is for her to go full dark side if she does have to have a turn. But yeah.
You think they're gonna make her a Star Killer?
No. But
all right. All right.
Who do you think? It's gonna make a joke, but
do it.
Who do you? Nah.
It's probably gonna be something about. Yeah, we don't even need to get into it. Yeah.
Who do you think is?
Shin's a sensitive subject for Dom. All right, everybody, just calm down.
No, I mean, I think she's really cool. She's awesome.
Oh
Who do you
yeah,
think's gonna be
cool.
the one
That would be
to?
fun to say. Yeah.
Who do you think's gonna be the one to kill Balin?
Rock, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that he's like not what they think. I don't know where the heck he came from, first of all, or his relation to Balin or Shin. It makes no sense to me. He's an inquisitor, but there's no inquisitor, so he's not really an inquisitor. Like, who the heck is he? I don't know if he's
He is
being
kind of
like.
the oddball in the group, isn't he?
I think he might be controlled, like mind controlled by the sister at this point or something, because he does follow her, but he's like, is he though, or is he like have his own motives,
But see, again,
or is
going
he a
back
Ralph Boner?
going back to Force Unleashed again for a minute, is he a clone?
Oh, you think he's like got
Is
cloned? It's
is
like
he a
Starkiller clone.
Because in the second Force Unleashed, Starkiller is a clone. You're playing as a clone of
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
And he is like not necessarily mind controlled, but basically he was basically programmed. Yeah, programmed is a better way of looking at it.
Okay. See, I don't know whose side he's on or what his deal is, but I don't know his relation to Shin and Balin, and he's not a Jedi, even though Inquisitors were Jedi, but he's past the point of being the age of which he would have been an Inquisitor and a Jedi. You know, like, it's just, I hope he's nobody and just irks everybody in the show, because whoever he is going to tick everybody off. He's definitely not Ezra. Let's get this 100% correct, everybody. There's no reason why this would be Ezra. Okay. 0.
Yeah. Thinking about it more since last week, it shouldn't be Ezra.
It'd be dumb. I mean, the fact that
Yeah.
even when we talked about it, like people saying that it was Ezra, my whole thought process was, okay, so he came back, but Thrawn didn't. Like, what the heck? Like, how did?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, was he just like a dark side user then, and just like got one of the Purgle whales to like fly him back, and then like what?
Yeah.
You know, like it wouldn't make any sense. That's why I was saying I hope that Ezra's just dead last week. Like, I hope they get there and Thrawn killed him already, and it's like a waste of their time, and they both have to fight through it. And then
You
what's her
honestly
face?
think that would make the show better?
Yes. What do you?
Like you would enjoy that part of the story more if you don't get to see Ezra again ever?
It would make his death in that one scene, his sacrifice, that much more impactful. Yes, I think it would make Ezra's character a lot better. The fact that he legitimately sacrificed himself for his friends, and like had to deal like hell, like live literally in hell with Thrawn torturing him for all these years and killing him. Like, yeah, I think that would make him way more of a martyr and a hero than him being like, "Oh, I'm back, guys. What's going on? How you doing? Like, let's do something."
Not literally in hell though.
No, but like literally in hell, dude. Like, that guy Thrawn probably like tortured him so bad. It's probably worse than hell. Like, he was like getting messed up, dude, for years. Like, you don't want to be in that situation with Thrawn. So
wait, Ezra had the upper hand though at the end.
He just like killed Thrawn when he got to the other galaxy. Like, I don't.
No,
why is Thrawn even alive?
I'm just saying, like, Ezra was like basically he had like a force grip on him with the whales, which sounds really funny too when I say it.
So
Trust me, guys. It looks a lot cooler than. Okay, it doesn't look a lot cooler than how I'm explaining it. It looks a little bit cooler.
But that's the thing too. It's like, I get that. Then like, why? One of them has to be dead. If Thrawn's alive, Ezra has to be dead. If Ezra's alive, Thrawn has to be dead. If Thrawn's still alive, which we know, then Ezra has to be dead. Like, why would he even keep him alive? Unless there's some stupid excuse that I don't want to hear from Dave Filoni's mouth. there makes no sense that he would still be alive.
How do we know like one of them doesn't get away? Like they split up or something? I mean, they go into another galaxy.
All right. So maybe they get to this new planet, and Thrawn hasn't seen Ezra for 10 years because he's been on the run from Thrawn. That gives us a reason to stay in that galaxy.
Yeah.
But I still don't know.
I don't think they're hanging out the entire time that they've been gone. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what the heck is going on?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting how they explain it.
It's gonna be very touchy and sticky, and if they don't handle it correctly, Dave Filoni is done for. Like this next whatever movies, whatever. Like it's like this is, and like that's why I'm so worried. And you talk to me about it is because like, dude, I know that Dave Filoni's trying to set up a bunch of things right now, and this show, if it doesn't go well, is going to ruin everything that's coming after it. And he could try to pick up the pieces as much as he wants, but like, you're gonna lose a lot of people if you don't like stick this landing. And that's why I'm very hesitant to say anything about my emotions, how I'm feeling about it. And I just kind of sit here and I just and I say like, and I'm like, dude, I have these issues with it. Oh, but I really enjoyed it. Like, cause I'm really trying to enjoy it for what it is. But like, I don't have any faith. Like, I'm trying.
0.
I got 5%. And so I'm hanging on.
We'll take it. We'll take it, guys.
I'm hanging on to it, but like I just don't know if it's like, I don't want to be disappointed, and I know that if the show doesn't do well, that it's going to be another 5-10 years probably. Hopefully, for the love of God, Disney, sell it, give it to someone that knows what they're doing, and in 10 years we'll have something. So, anyways, I'm sorry for my rant. I'm enjoying the show. It's great. Listen, Disney, invite me out to all your premieres. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Can't do anything wrong. Not in my eyes. Look at this Spider-Man cup. I bought this at Disneyland. Come on now.
Well, I think we should wrap things up here soon. But okay, final thing. What do you want to see from next week?
Oh, that's tough because we know that Sabine fights Shin, and we know that Baylan fights Ahsoka. I don't know how.
Oh yeah, I think we do see them fight, but I think, does Ahsoka fight Marok in the next episode as well, or do you think they're separate episodes? Because we also see her fight him.
Oh, maybe she fights Marok.
She could fight both of them though.
No, God, if she fights both of them and comes out alive, I'm gonna be so upset. Regardless. Bro, and the only reason, and even I was gonna say with like her fighting Shin, like she's not gonna survive. There's no way that she's gonna survive a lightsaber fight. I'm so sorry. Unless what happens is
Sabine.
Unless Ahsoka kills.
Ahsoka.
No, Sabine. Yeah. There's no way she could take on Shin and Marok.
No, I'm saying Ahsoka in the trailers fights Marok and Baylan.
Which makes more sense, but like again,
not necessarily at the same time, but on the same planet. I'm almost positive.
I almost feel like this is what's gonna happen because what you said, but I
asked what you want to happen. Like, how can it be a good episode? Do you think?
It's not going to be a good episode. Let me tell you what's going to happen.
My gosh. This isn't Secret Invasion, bro. Don't worry. This isn't baloney. This is Filoni. All right? And he's given us a lot of good Star Wars.
So anyways, I don't know. What I want to happen is Sabine to lose an arm when she's fighting somebody else with a lightsaber because there's no chance that she stands. But I honestly think that it's going to be like, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I feel like next episode is probably going to be another 30-minute episode. It's going to be really short. I want them to go. I don't need another episode of them sitting here. Like, I need them to get the storyline moving at this point, because like I said,
something
like
something fast paced.
they already gave us that whole thing in the beginning of like, oh, we already found the map in episode 1, and then like episode 2, nothing really happened. They've said they found the map again in like a secret spot, and then like we're making a ship. Episode 3, like, let's go see what's going on with this ship. Nothing really happens. Like episode 4, I feel like it's going to be the same thing where nothing really happens. Like they might leave at the end of the episode, but it's going to be like a 30-minute episode. It's going to be like lightsaber fights. It's probably going to be really cool for a lot of people, but it's going to go nowhere. I just want them to like progress the story, because I felt like this 30-minute episode was a waste of our time. We didn't learn anything new. So as long as they kind of like get things going, I need someone to die. I need something. I need something to happen. I need there to be like turmoil. I need some character development, because, and I mean character development on the basis of Balin and Shin. I need some character development on their side. They've been very stale for me. The first 3 episodes, we don't know anything about them. They're stale. Like, give me something to work on with these characters. You know what I mean? So that's personally, I like them.
But yeah,
Like I like them. I just don't want them to be so stale. Like, give me something. Give me that Plo Koon thing. Give me like the Ahsoka. Like, I've known you this whole time. Like, give me character development on their end, whatever that means. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, just something. Yeah. You seem distraught. What do you need, man? What are you looking forward to?
I need a really good lightsaber battle. Yeah.
There's gonna be several whooshes in the next episode, folks. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need more whooshes.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Checks over stripes, as Drake says.
I need more emotion in my lightsaber fights as well.
That's a Nike reference. It's also a Drake reference, by the way.
All right. Okay. I see you, big dog.
Anywho, I need the whooshes. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to wait a week.
And I need the force. And I need the force ghosts.
You need the what? The force ghosts?
I need the force ghosts, preferably Plo Koon, but we'll settle for Anakin.
Oh, shut the heck up, man. Give me Anakin all day, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I do really want to see Hayden. I'm excited.
I gotta see it. And I hope to God that Rosario Dawson brings her acting chops when she talks to her old master again.
I know.
That's gonna be
good. It's gotta be really good.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right, man. I think that was it. We thought it was gonna be a shorter podcast today, but we always find good things to talk about. So thanks everyone for tuning into the show, whether it was live or on the replay. We do appreciate you guys. Don't forget, you can check us out on the podcast feed. I will be uploading the Ahsoka podcast, like the reviews that we've been doing, onto Spotify and Apple Podcasts very soon. So you can check out the podcast feed, leave us 5 stars or whatever, a good review on there. We appreciate it. But yeah, next week we will be back to discuss episode 4. And yeah, Jake, I think because like what we had mentioned earlier, there is some confusion for like more of the casual audience. I think it would be good, like we did for Ahsoka, to do something maybe even shorter form. It was already short, but a couple little shorter videos on some of the other members of the Phoenix Squadron. So next I do want to do a shorter video on Sabine and basically the gist of her character, everything you kind of need to know from her backstory, to kind of help everyone out there. And I think it'll be good. So I want to do that for the Rebels characters. So you can expect that. And then definitely next Wednesday, 7 p.m., episode 4 review of Ahsoka.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's gonna be episode 5 is what I'm looking forward to. So if they do all those lightsaber fights now, I don't know what the heck episode 5 is gonna be about, but it's supposed to be the best episode of the season. So super stoked. We got some great stuff coming up.
We do.
Yeah. So we'll get it going. We'll get it going.
Yep, more whooshes and more whales. We'll see you guys next time.